Over the last month, we witnessed the biggest change in power balance in the Mach-Gov community, with 3 out of the 4 spheres of influence essentially falling off. In this special report, we will go through each one. Section 1. The fall of the first sphere of influence. The server taking the title of the first sphere of influence was Romeo's USA, with them amassing an astonishing 2,000 members and having one of the only working intelligence agencies in Mach-Gov, as well as leading NATO. They were a formidable power in the community, but now they are but a shell of their former self. With Romeo, the owner of the server, nowhere to be found for more than 3 weeks, and the server barely averaging 400 messages a day, it is apparent that they have fell gravely, as well as their alliance NATO failing to protect any of its member states, and their intelligence agency having confidential documents leaked left and right each week. This didn't come randomly, but it was the result of a grueling Cold War with the Authority, whom we will speak about later. Now they're just a husk that waits for its eventual death. Section 2. The second sphere of influence. A dead mannequin? The server taking the title of the second sphere of influence was Putin's dynasty, but for the longest time they have continued spiraling into irrelevancy, being targeted by newer, more modern servers and getting stuck in endless wars with servers that struggle to achieve 20 to 30 members. Not to mention the fact that their activity is plummeting into historical lows even for them, as they struggle to get more than 90 messages a day, despite their big 1,000+ member base, which led to many people calling the server botted. This whole situation was due to the carelessness of the leadership of the server, with them turning their back on their community and focusing on achieving international fame. This led to most of their members deserting the server and going to some of its rivals, such as Leon's USSR, as well as its owner Putin, heading to war with a bunch of small 20-member servers, which led to the other major powers supporting those small servers, turning it into a proxy war, consuming every last drop of power from PD. Section 3. The fourth way. No more a sphere. On the other hand, we have the servers that decided to not align themselves with anyone, those being EV's Japan and the Kaiserreich Alliance. The Kaiserreich Alliance was started by a bunch of servers after it was noticeable that the Mach-Gov community started forming into a multipolar scene, with some of the major players in it being Dinko's Croatia, the Imperial Order, Britannia, also known as the Imperial Federation, the Ottoman Empire, and a bunch of smaller servers. On the other hand, we have EV's Japan. It was started as a sister server to Romeo's USA, but quickly strayed away from it, opting for a more neutral approach to the community. But, as we all have seen during this week's news, the Empire of Japan was nuked by a bunch of Romans with no server, with no clear intentions, as well as the Kaiserreich Alliance being nuked by the Ottomans and Dinko, its former owner retiring from his Croatia service and now starting a sort of retirement server. And on the other hand, the Imperial Order officially closing this week due to all of its high command having to deal with real-life shenanigans, which led to its eventual death, with them now attempting to revive again, but barely being able to get 100 messages, which leaves the only survivor being Paul's Britannia. Section 5. The death of a period, and hopefully the rise of another. And as we sit here, Mach-Gov continues to head in the wrong destination, with barely any big servers arising compared to many other periods in it. Some attribute it to the lack of originality and uniqueness, while others say that it is due to the people not appreciating any server that isn't big. Meanwhile, some new faces continue to break records, while others fall. As we can see, Blumen's Greece continuing to achieve number never seen before in Mach-Gov history, with an average of more than 15K messages a day for more than a month, while some older servers are trying their best to revive, such as Hexter's Spain and the Imperial Order, as well as Tankria just now ending a month-long civil war and getting its first election in a while. This period is also seeing a big rise in degeneracy, with newer faces trying their best to rise, even if it means tarnishing their image and the image of others around them just for a small rush of dopamine. In the end, one thing is apparent. If we want this community to survive and thrive, We must band together and help each other grow up and rise. So make sure to give this video a like and subscribe, and check the description for RBS's invite.